Once again, the Israeli-Hamas conflict has erupted into violence and the bloodshed looks set to climb over the coming days. As rockets continue to fly into Israel from the Gaza Strip and Israel responds with greater force, the long-suffering people of Gaza will be at the epicentre of the latest flare-up. The violence comes as Israel prepares for a general election in January and the Palestinian Authority goes to New York to seek UN observer status. Hamas and Israel want Fatah to fail and the fog of a limited war will damage any deal at the UN.
What we are doing is very meaningful. It is not meaningless, and I believe the leaders of Israel are dead afraid of allowing us, allowing the Arabs, allowing the international community to succeed in legislating the state of Palestine in the General Assembly, in essence recognizing that and bestowing on the Palestinians the status of an observer state.
The role of Egypt in all this is of interest. The state is still too weak to rip up the 1979 peace treaty with Israel, though Islamist President Mohamed Mursi called the Israeli attacks unacceptable, and he intends to visit the Gaza Strip on Friday. Euronews correspondent Giovanni Maggi spoke to Pascal Boniface, director of the Institute of International and Strategic Relations in Paris.
What's behind this latest eruption of violence in Gaza? Is it the Palestinian bid for observer status at the UN or the upcoming Israeli election?
There is a strategic context to this flare-up. On the one hand, the tension between Israel and Syria and President Assad's isolation following the Doha Agreement, and the fact that Syrian rockets landed in Israel spooked Tel Aviv. There's also a calendar that's linked to the Israeli elections in January, and an Israeli leader who's seen to be strong on security will pick up votes. Hamas is insecure about Palestine gaining a vote in the UN, which may well happen. We still don't know how Europe will react. But as there is no veto in the General Assembly, Palestine may well win a majority, which will be bad for Hamas.
La majorité et que devant l'Assemblée générale, il n'y a pas de droit de veto.
Do you see a repeat of the 2008-2009 conflict with the Israeli military, launching full-scale attacks with dire consequences for civilians?
That cannot be excluded, but Israel will face international condemnation at a time when Israel considers Iran to be the #1 threat in the region, not the Palestinians. A ground invasion of Gaza will be difficult because Hamas has stockpiled anti-tank missiles since 2008. It could prove a trap both on a political and military level for the IDF as a media war against Israel kicks in as more Palestinians die. This will influence any UN vote.
Ne ferait qu'augmenter la popularité palestinienne dans le monde à quelques jours d'un vote à l'Assemblée générale de l'ONU.
Who benefits most from this permanent conflict, Israel or Hamas?
Il profite au Likoud, au gouvernement.
It benefits the sitting Likud administration. They can show that they are in control. They protect the state, and the military force acts as a political force. There are many elements involved. Some say these clashes elevate Hamas to threat #1. Then there's the general Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and the internal political situation in Israel, and then there are the divisions between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority.
Could the conflict damage the already fragile relationship between Israel and Egypt?
There will be no war between Egypt and Israel. Egypt will not go to war with Israel. There may well be the will, but not the means. Israel has far more military hardware than Egypt, and if Egypt adopted a military stance, they would be defeated and humiliated, and no state can take that risk. However, diplomatic relations will suffer, but there will be no war simply because Israel has the power, and if Egypt joins the conflict, they will lose $1.3 billion a year in US military aid.
L'aide américaine qui s'arrêterait à l'Égypte si l'Égypte prenait ce sentier de la guerre.
Merci beaucoup.